Do you have a lawyer today?
No, representing myself.
The defendant begins by stating that he will be representing himself in court, a decision that is his right, but also one that many legal professionals advise against. The judge acknowledges this choice, remarking that while it's his right, self-representation in a criminal case, especially one involving serious charges, like a gun charge and fraud, can be a dangerous path. The defense attorney might not always see things clearly when they are emotionally invested in the case. The judge likens representing oneself to performing surgery on yourself. Just because you have the right to do it doesn't mean it's a good idea. This sets the stage for a tense legal battle where the defendant faces the complex justice system with no legal training. While it's commendable that he believes in his ability, the reality of courtroom proceedings quickly shows that navigating the law without formal training can lead to serious consequences.
Same charge, picked up a fraud as well. I mean, okay, you can represent yourself. It's your absolute right. I mean, I don't know how smart it is. Have you ever represented yourself before?
Yeah, many times.
How did that go?
I had many dismissals.
For what kind of cases?
I had a dismissal on unlawful carry before.
And you represented yourself?
Yes.
In this court?
Harris County. Just found a receipt.
Oh, well, I found no probable cause. That's why I got dismissed. You didn't represent yourself.
I was representing myself, but the judge did find no probable cause.
I found, was it me?
No, it wasn't you. It was. Well, I don't know. I think it was you.
Yeah, I found no probable
I
cause.
think that was you.
You didn't represent yourself for nothing, man. I did it. No. Okay. So, well, you can hope and wish and dream, whatever. If you want to represent yourself, you're entitled to do that, right? But, you know, while I like to tell people it's like brain surgery, when you need brain surgery, when you need heart surgery, you know, are you going to do that on yourself? Because you're not trained, you know, you don't know how to perform open heart surgery.
The judge makes an analogy comparing self-representation to performing brain surgery on oneself. While this may sound exaggerated, the point is clear. The law is complex, and without proper legal training, the risks of making a fatal mistake are high. The defendant responds by mentioning his past experiences with representing himself in other cases and how he had been successful in some dismissals. However, the judge continues to emphasize that in criminal law, one wrong move could mean the difference between winning the case and facing severe penalties. The stakes are much higher in criminal cases, particularly when firearms and fraud are involved. The judge is trying to make it clear that while the defendant has the right to represent himself, he is also potentially risking his future by not utilizing professional legal counsel.
I graduated school. I went to some college.
How far did you get?
2 years I got certificates. I mean, not in college, but I went to school.
Okay. So we're in the middle of trial now. And so I don't have the time to go through all of what they're called Faretta warnings to see whether you should represent yourself. I'm happy to do that. Why don't we delay it off a week? Are you working at this time?
Yeah, and I stay in Austin. I don't live in Houston, so.
What do you do for a living?
I have my own business.
Doing what?
Resell clothing, audio production.
How much money do you make a month?
I can't tell you, but to pay some bills.
You're very cryptic in all of your answers, you know? And not only that, but you going to Austin, if you represent yourself, you're going to have to meet with the DAs on a constant basis to get evidence. So that's going to require you to come here to Houston quite a bit.
I was ready to find my motion today if I needed to be.
Okay. Before I do that, though, I need to have a Faretta hearing. If you're willing to wait, we can do that a little bit later when I take a break in trial.
I had my other case upstairs the same day. The judge from when I came to my last
hearing. Have you been up there yet?
No, I haven't been up there
Okay,
yet.
so go up there. When you're done, come back down here.
Oh.
Don't forget to come back. If you don't come back, I'm going to issue a warrant. Go take care of yourself upstairs and come back.
The defendant insists on representing himself. The judge delves deeper into practical concerns. The defendant is not only trying to handle his case on his own, but is also facing practical issues regarding jurisdiction and legal logistics. The judge asks about his work situation, reminding him that representing oneself in court requires consistent meetings with the district attorney and preparation for trial, both of which require travel and dedication. The defendant's answers become increasingly cryptic, and he struggles to provide clear information about his job and his living situation. This further highlights the complexity of self-representation. If the defendant is not willing or able to communicate clearly and concisely with the court, he risks not effectively presenting his case. This part of the conversation sets up the challenges of self-representation, particularly when personal or logistical matters become intertwined with the legal process.
If I did probable cause on this, or if I don't know if another judge did, because I don't remember Mr. Imatami, and I was out a week.
It was another judge, sir.
Yeah, lollygagging. So let's just do it for.
On August 2nd, 2024, officers observed a car without a front license plate, change lanes without a signal, and have expired registration as of March 2023. Upon approaching, officers smelled marijuana. PC search returned 4.17 grams and a loaded Smith & Wesson handgun. Additionally, there was a backpack with 3 checks that did not belong to him. Officer called Kumamoto, who said the checks were stolen from her restaurant on July 8th. When defendant broke the front window, went to the back where the checks were kept in the office, broke the hinge of the back door, and exited.
So as a result, because of that, he was charged with felony fraud on that one, on the check. Okay. Yes, he has an open case in the 182nd. Looks like he made a $15,000 bond. With us, I am going to find there's probable cause to.
The defendant continues to express his desire to represent himself. The judge begins to weigh the options. The judge offers to postpone the trial for a week to allow for a Feretta hearing, which would assess whether the defendant is truly capable of representing himself in court. The judge gives the defendant time to think about this important decision, explaining that the legal system involves much more than just a basic understanding of laws. It requires familiarity with procedures, the ability to make compelling arguments, and understanding the intricacies of evidence and courtroom rules. The judge also notes that the defendant's claim about private property, registration, and other legal technicalities might not hold up in court. This section emphasizes that even seemingly small misunderstandings or misconceptions can have major consequences in legal proceedings.
So that wouldn't lead you to believe it's criminal, right?
Yeah, but under common law, or is it military and tribunal? Because also with
I've been waiting for something like this for so long. This is so much fun.
I'm just trying to see this on what I'm being tried on, because what I was told with the U.S. side, I wouldn't have to register with the state of Texas with the registration or licensing. I do have my own place with that vehicle too as well. So,
you need a license to drive, a Texas driver license. That's it. You either have one or you don't. The federal government has regulated to the states through the Constitution that they have allowed the states on their own initiative to create laws regarding driving on highways and byways. So that's why you see every single state has different requirements for licensing, insurance, mode of transportation, the federal government has somewhat to do with it, but by and large, they have delegated to the states.
The conversation shifts to the details of the charges against the defendant. The judge goes over the facts of the case, which now include a weapon charge, marijuana possession, and fraud involving stolen checks. As the evidence piles up, the defendant's case becomes increasingly complicated. Despite his desire to represent himself, the reality of the situation starts to set in. The judge points out the serious nature of the case and questions the defendant's ability to handle these complex matters on his own. The judge also addresses the issue of a missing front license plate and the fact that officers discovered marijuana and a firearm in the defendant's car during the stop. The seriousness of these charges is not lost on the judge, and it becomes clear that the defendant's decision to represent himself might be the wrong choice. Next voice. The judge concludes by explaining the legal implications of the defendant's actions and reiterate